Welcome, friends. It is truly a privilege and a relief in these very rugged times to be here again on the Golden Girls Global stage with you. Please join me, colleagues, Golden Girls leaders from all over the world. Let's be here together. This is the second of our threefold launch of a birthing process. I'm Melissa Michaels, the founder of this initiative, a worldwide community, as you can see, and a body of work that is dedicated to the healing, education, initiation, and mentoring of girls on their journey from childhood into ideally creative and contributive adulthood. Please come in. You're all welcome here. And today, an extra special warm welcome to you girls tucked in together in the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Those of you across rural China, and those of you just down the road from me here in Boulder. Today, we get to learn more about your good works. There are so many more of you who are also part of a girls group or who are longing for one. Welcome to all of you girls, queer, trans, questioning, sometimes girls, and as we know, the girl inside of every one of us. And of course, you elders, siblings, parents, donors, colleagues, and community allies. We are so delighted and honored to have you here with us too. I'm still here, gratefully rooted on the original lands of the Ute and the Cheyenne and the Arapaho. These Rocky Mountains that burst into flames in these past few weeks, just up the road from where I stand. May all of you facing fire, famine, hurricane, landslides, violation, condemnation, institutional and generational oppression, struggle day in and day out, come into this warm space. We see you and hope to be a source of comfort and inspiration as you face the struggles within and around you. May our time together help you remember that there is nothing wrong with you. Your pain is valid and not to be minimized. Your gifts are precious and deserve to be cultivated. Your dreams are important and worthy of steadfast support to help you bring them into manifestation. Every one of you. Golden Girls Global aims to create pathways for ever more of you to access safe, successful, and soulful ways of being in the world. With that in mind, why are we calling today's event Initiate? Today, our focus is on that powerful place between this and that, a place or placelessness that so many of us find ourselves in at this time. Call it chaos. Be it the place between the surrender into night and the gift of a new day. Be it in the midst of the awkward, awesome, and at times lonely and longing-filled journey from childhood to adulthood. Be it in the shaky zone of families journeying from one country to the next, seeking shelter. Or be it in the uncertainty faced as a nation journeys from one leader to hopefully the next. Come into this place that some call the threshold, where there's no going back, a portal into something new and something usually unknown. Thresholds can be treacherous. We know that. They can be dangerous, often requiring rigorous and steadfast focus and faith. The presence of death can be a companion as we traverse along narrow passageways. Although we focus on life every step of the way, we do not necessarily know that we will make it through into the new. Conditions around us are rough, right? These are initiatory experiences. How we navigate through them makes all the difference, whether we get stuck or lost on the journey, or if we make it successfully across to the new self, the new home, the new agenda. During our first launch, we focused on invocation. In every initiatory process, first and foremost, we are well served to remember that we are part of something bigger than ourselves. All of us, especially our youth, need to know in every fiber of our beings, of their beings, that there are well and wise ancestors, friends of spirit, the divine in all her names, here to guide and guard us. The powerful calling in of spirit that launch number one offered to us continues to hold us as we move forward. Let's all take a deep breath here. Really feel that. Thank you. We need you. We're here to carry on the good work that our ancestors have bushwhacked for us, before us. Part of what youth are also longing for is this threshold experience, is their own direct and intimate experience of that great spirit. We can bring it forth for them, but ultimately they want to find it, experience it in their own beings. And initiatory processes that help young people forge this relationship to the divine in non-dogmatic ways truly supports them in making the passage from one developmental stage to the other. They long for life-giving, expansive transcendence experiences that get them out of themselves, into their bigger selves, but also ones that are not only expansive, but can be integrated and even replicated. That's one key reason why in Golden Girls Global, we begin with inclusive prayer. And then we get right to the dance. Dance consistently helps our young people access their own unique lived experience of the sublime, the extraordinary, the aha, the mystical, in the midst of what is potential ordinary life madness. Conscious dance can also be healing, a pathway for unwinding trauma. We could all use a good shake. Join me wherever you are. Let's just shake it out. Supporting developmental repair and right relationship with body and heart. Dance supports emotional and social literacy from a somatic perspective, offering young people ways to befriend the ever-changing landscape of their hearts, their fears. And there's plenty to be afraid of, but also to be excited about. It's a way to access and express in life-giving ways their anger, so that they can wake up and see what is being jeopardized, what integrity needs to be protected, their people, their land, themselves. And also the dance allows all of us, the young people, to move through that and to move into and allow the grief, the sadness to pour through us, so that we can sequence that through into ultimately our joy, through the loss, into the possibilities that come with endings, and from that into our compassion, our capacity to embody empathy, to truly see the other. And this foundational moving work serves to orient girls to their healthy hearts as they face the turbulence in the world everywhere around them and the world that is changing within. As we all know, learning to love is truly an initiatory process. We know that along with transcendence experiences, you all, youth, all long to belong. Standing at the intersection of that world and this world, devotion to the other is a developmental mandate for the healthy awakening of the soul. In Golden Girls Global, we are dedicated to creating braver and ultimately safer spaces where those who always or sometimes identify as girls can come together to connect, to learn how to be a friend, an ally, a peer, a true presence. As the winds of change blow through the community, love in action. Learning to honor diverse people's lived experience and then to meet the complexity of conversations across race, class, gender, ability, all of that is a real life threshold experience. We're all in that, learning together. Cultivating connection between girls who have access to very different life experiences and opportunities is one of the initiatory processes of these times. And as we will see later in this hour, some Golden Girls Global girls are called to find right relationship through the sharing of resources and through really learning about one another. These thresholds not only open our hearts, but our minds and our hands. All the girls we are about to meet are betwixt and between. Childhood is behind them, whether through their own natural development or through the ripping off of their innocence, and yet most are not yet fully in the new place. They host the developmental questions. These are life questions, but in adolescence, they're poignant, critical developmental questions. Where do I come from? What are my ancestral and cultural, even religious roots? Where am I going? What is happening in this body? And what does it mean to be a creative, fertile being? What are healthy social norms that help me orient my compass so that I can head towards my true north on this path of becoming? How can I contribute to the cultural renewal that is essential and happening around me? And what is my initiative to bring forward to the world? With that, let's see what these girls have to say about the initiatory journeys they are on within and in the spaces between them. Let's learn how they are addressing the basic human need for healthy healing, education, awakening, and mentoring in culturally sound and sustainable ways. What we meet in our initiations has something to do with what we are to innovate, to initiate into the world. Let's turn now towards the life-giving work that's happening. And we'll start first by going to the Democratic Republic of the Congo. I'll see you just after that. Thank you. Let's all take a breath and join our friends in the DRC.
You know, it doesn't have to run from your country to become a refugee. I became multiple refugee in my own country, had to move from one village to another village. You run. If your goat was in the kitchen, you leave the goats. If you had some clothes, you leave the clothes. You just run for your life. My name is Claudine, and at 6 years old, I became orphan. It was a trauma, but I never took it as trauma. I took it as something normal. The change that we want to create begins within, and for me to be able to do and talk the way I'm talking today, people had to work on my inner being. I got a chance to go to school and be connected with people who have invested so much of their energy into my growth. And through Cobras that I got to meet with Melissa, who is the founder of Golden Bridge. I wouldn't have had chance to get to heal from my void, longing to have a mother figure as I grew up, if I didn't have chance to talk and to sit with other women through Melissa's facility. She's the one that inspired me to believe that even Congo can become united. Most of people, they're like, Claudine, you've traveled and you really have potential connections. You don't need to come back to this crazy country, Congo. And what I always tell them is that if all of us, we just think that going out there is the best, then no one is going to change Congo. The best place for me to be, it's here, home. With Golden Bridge, I was introduced on the menstrual hygiene education. We learned how to make the womb. It was about being familiar with the features that we have inside ourselves as women, something that I felt was missing in my community.
So many parents here in Africa or DRC, they think that ladies don't have that needs of going to school, because they say, even if I get education, I'll just start giving children. Once I'm not educated, I can't also educate my children. And with that, we have bad leaders.
The culture that do not allow women to really live and feel empowered as they are supposed to be. You know, in Africa, there's so much patriarchy, so that's also an issue. So when we are trying to create these women empowerment programs, it's kind of awakening so many things, and that's why I'm more interested in bringing in men's opinions as well. So there is hope that if we work as partners, we can build a better world for women.
Je travaille maintenant avec le jeune de mon pays. Comment est-ce qu'il peut vraiment être en connexion avec les femmes qui sont négligées, de voir comment utiliser le mouvement comme l'arme pour vraiment changer des choses positivement.
This is Nguvu ya Africa program. In English, it's the Power of Africa. We have girl empowerment talks where we are now going to be having the reusable pad trainings.
Claudine taught me about menstruation and also how to make those pads. Before that, I could just stay in home because to get outside was a big problem.
J'ai appris. On nous a appris comment on peut fabriquer ces cotex, comment on peut l'utiliser et comment on peut les protéger.
On nous a appris de faire beaucoup de choses. On nous a enseigné ce qu'on ne sait pas.
Beneza waelezea kwenye nijifunza ni kuambia sio umetupatia edukation mzuri na kumafaa kujikinga mwili na kisi tunaweza jiproteger kusexe yetu kusema tusipate ugonjwa.
J'ai aimé ça. J'ai aimé vraiment, je vais retourner vraiment.
Tulijifunza maumivu ya mtumbu sasa kwa mregre, walitufundisha gisi tunaweza jikinga ili ile maumivu iishe.
Certaines filles, leur maman les trompent souvent, ils les disent des choses qui ne sont pas claires, disons. Mais en fait, l'information qu'on les a donnée, il les aidera à se distinguer, disons, des autres filles qui ne sont pas informées.
I'm hoping by the time they leave this place, they'll really be talking about anything in menstrual hygiene freely without shame. We have dreams, but if no one tells us that you can make it, we can't make it. And here I am working with communities so that they can also see their dreams becoming true.
Claudine and Vanessa, please join us. We're so thrilled that you're here today so that we can meet you and hear your voices about what's happening right now.
Thank you so much. It's really such a great honor and a pleasure to be in this global movement at this day, especially on the Peace Day. So it's to us really a double celebration to see women being involved into building their social well-being, but also the peace in our country. And being part of the Golden Girls Global, it's making it success. So yeah, thank you so much for having us here, and Vanessa.
Yes. Well, there's so much we want to learn from you and celebrate with you, and support happening there. In a few minutes, we'll get to meet your girls and have them connect with some of the girls here who've already begun to build a bridge. But I'd love to ask each of you a question, if I may. And I think the first thing would be to you, Claudine. Can you talk a little bit about what stirred in your soul to choose to actually have and host conversations that are usually taboo in your culture, and to really create spaces for girls and women to come together and talk about things that for many different reasons are not spoken about? And I think we'd all love to hear what stirred in you and more about that vision that you're holding. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Melissa. Well, while growing up I am an orphan of both parents. So while growing up, it was like fighting for myself. I didn't have mentors to really teach me what to do for my body. And I've experienced at some point infections. So when I looked at how my life has improved because I had mentors who saw me later in as I was growing up, after finishing school and getting privileged to really be educated in best schools and have great mentors giving all their energy to see me becoming a better person. I thought of also being that same person to other young girls and women in my community and starting conversations and creating spaces for girls. It's one step toward a better country we want to have. So the vision behind all that we do is to see healthy families and see independent girls and see them really able to discover their potential and live a better life they have always dreamed to live. And no one can live that without someone to guide them. So people have guided me and now I'm contributing, giving back also to help other girls. Thank you.
Thank you, Claudine. Thank you. We see it. And Vanessa, you, along with Claudine, were both really kept out of the DRC because of COVID, and you were not able to go home after completing your undergraduate schooling. And really proud of you and excited for you and what you're going to bring to the world. But you actually came home about 4 months or 5 months into COVID, and you looked around and said, oh my goodness, there's such a problem here. And you pushed up your sleeve with your colleague Claudine and others, and you started a whole other layer of leadership in your community. And would you talk just a little bit about what you all are up to right now with the women, what you most recently did, and what caused you to get to it once you got home?
What encouraged me the most is when I got home and realized that the situation hasn't changed at all. Like the rate of malnutrition is increasing, poverty and unemployment, and the girls are still depending on men telling themselves that we can't make it. So I was like, as a farmer, with the lands that we are having, the girls can do it even with the small land that they're having in their home and start planting in order to have something to feed the family, but also to sell for sustainability. So what I'm currently working on is I'm working with women and girls, teaching them about agriculture, sustainable agriculture, because people here, they still feel like for one to be a farmer, they have to be living in a village and not in town. They don't believe in agriculture. So it's a way of empowering women through agriculture in order to fight against malnutrition and decrease the rate of poverty.
Thank you. And you had to surrender so much. And then there you are in a situation where your gifts are so needed and you're able to step into leadership in a way you could not have even imagined. And I just really want to acknowledge the bravery and the brilliance of both of you. And we're with you, and we can't wait to continue to collaborate and also to see where you go with your work. So we're going to bring you back onto this stage here with us in a little bit with hopefully some of the girls that are with you or whoever is with you. And I just want you to feel all of us. We've spent time with you here on this continent and in this place, and we love you so much and respect you totally. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. Okay. So let's all take a breath. Yeah. And as we remember that dance is at the root of our work, and prayer sources us to keep going, we're going to pause now and journey, opening our wings, journey all the way over to China to meet with a dear colleague who is the co-founder of an incredible initiative serving over 1 million girls in rural China, Bright and Beautiful. And we'll hear more about their initiative at the third launch. But for now, we have an offering from our dear colleague, Juliet. And please join us and let us know what this very short dance is about to you, for you, and for us.
Sure. Yeah, thank you, Melissa. And hello, everyone. I'm Juliet Zheng Qingzhi from China. And I made this improvisation dance this month in Dali, Yunnan, with my co-founder Chen Xi. And when I improved it, I just held the divine feminine energy inside of my heart and emptied myself while I danced it. So here I would like to present this silent piece of work to all of you as a movement prayer, as an initiation of Golden Girls Global. And I hope you all like it and enjoy it.
Let's all take a deep breath in and really feel our wings and our roots, the ground that we stand on. That deep current of feminine energy that runs through each of us. How are we being initiated, and how can we continue to move through that? As we take another deep breath and continue to journey around this precious earth to another leader, bringing gifts of creativity and love to the girls right here in Boulder. And after that, we'll meet up again.
There's so much in our world that is asking us to be up in our minds. There's so much in our world that suggests we be somewhere else other than here, home, in our bodies and hearts.
I start working with girls around age 10 and 11, and they're still in this cocoon of childhood, but they're starting to explore adolescence. I think I've taken an understanding from Melissa's work of how to hold sacred space, how to honor someone for where they're at and not try to change their experience, not try to change the process that is unfolding, but to really meet it. They can be messy and they can be fully themselves.
I would say pre-puberty is a time where these girls are still very much children and orienting towards family, but starting to get curious about something else. What I strive to offer is a safe space for girls to be bouncing back and forth between being a child and being a young woman and having their feelings and their emotions along the way, but to really start to explore who they are and who they're becoming in relationship to themselves, to the world, and to their peer group.
We talk about what it feels like to be a girl in our culture. Like, what are the images that girls are receiving from the media? from television, and is that true to our experience? We talk about our bodies and the cycles that women go through. We talk about our relationships with our families as we're leaving our little family unit and heading out into the world. What does that bring up for us? How does it feel to be growing up? How does it feel to be changing along the way?
Adolescents long for experiences that connect them to something far greater than themselves.
We explore getting to know ourselves through connection to the natural world, and then we also work with the expressive arts. The more that we learn how to inhabit our bodies and learn to track what is happening within ourselves, the more we can know ourselves more fully and show up in the world as our true self.
We have done a lot of things in the past. We've done art projects and journaled and had councils, which has been really nice to actually be able to talk about the things going on in my life and not feel like I'm being judged.
My journey has been different from my friends at school because of the opportunities I've been able to have with Girls Group. I think that I've been able to be more free with my emotions. I know a lot of my friends aren't comfortable to feel as much, and I think that's one of the most valuable parts of Girls Group.
I learned that it's okay to talk about things that might not be positive and to hear other people's side of the story. And dance, we've done a lot of different shows. It's definitely changed me and I love all of it.
I've learned a lot from just to speak from your heart and don't push any of your emotions away. Just feel all of them because it's really important to really feel what's going on, even if you're having a hard time.
Definitely helps you to be open. It's because it's creativity and you have to be open to be creative.
My self-esteem has gone way up. I feel like I'm a better person and I love my body and everything about myself I've kind of grown to love, which is amazing.
I think women have been gathering in sacred circles for thousands of years, and that it is the most natural thing in the world for us to gather and create safe space for us to share in a deep way.
I've really become more of a womanly figure and noticed myself and noticed what I love and figured out who I am.
Learn to love who you are and how you differ from everybody else and just love yourself because that's the only you can be.
I believe it's important to mark transitions in a culture that is asking us to be up in our mind, in a culture that is asking us to be somewhere else. It's a really beautiful thing when girls have the opportunity to be witnessed by their family, but not only their family, but their community, as well as their peers. And I see them step into this part of themselves that is so whole and so empowered when they know that they're being seen.
Wait, here's your photo, everyone, look!
The way Girls Group has shaped me is that in society, we're told a lot of the time how to be a certain way, and here I feel like I can really be myself and I can become who I am, and it's not I'm not told exactly who I need to be.
Well, it makes you open to new possibilities and to new places you can go in life. You're exploring the past as well as who you are in the future. So you're looking at your ancestors, you're looking at who the women of the past, and it's magical.
I honestly feel that I've been claimed by the young women. When they're in front of me, there's no other place that I want to be. So yeah, it's totally an honor to be doing this work. Yeah, it's a true privilege, yeah.
There you are. Yeah. Thank you, Johanna. Thank you for your devotion to staying with the girls from their early puberty, that first call of for change, all the way through to their leaving home and their young womanhood. And you are gifted and privileged, it's true, both, to get to do that work throughout the whole journey that has many different facets to it. The journey of she, they who is becoming. Mm-hmm. And I had the opportunity to do the interviews and work with Kenya. Shout out to Kenya Brading and to Anne-Marie for these films. Just thank you. And I got to interview these girls, and one of the things that they spoke with so much devotion and reverence for you and the work is that you're creating a space where they get to really explore their authenticity, who they really are, not what the outside world's telling them. And they said that in the film. And I would love for you to speak a little bit, Johanna, about the journey of when you first meet these individuals and through the stages of your work with them over the years, what you've discovered about this process of awakening to self when held and supported in a creative, safer, braver space as you've done. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Melissa. Well, I love starting when they're young, and 10 years old feels like this golden year where they're really reaching the end of their young childhood years. And there's this innocence and curiosity in them that's so strong. And so much of Girls Group at that stage is playing games and building trust. And it takes time. And so I really believe in as long-term as possible. And so one of my groups is on year 6, and we've gone through so many different stages through their development, from the childhood to receiving their first moon cycle and a journey through that to their budding sexuality and creativity. And I just, there's so much I could say, but they're still unfolding, and their identities are shifting and changing constantly. And something about the girls that I work with is they have access to a lot of resources. They have access to a lot of different avenues of media, and there's a lot of different energy coming towards them that they have to learn how to navigate. And so creating a safe space throughout all of those experiences and shifts and changes is something that I've seen really benefits them.
Awesome. And your work has such a strong relationship with the earth as an antidote and as a natural place of having the inner mirrored. Can you just give us a beat on how you work with the natural world in the seasons?
Yeah. A big key element that I always start with as just a core foundation are the 4 elements: earth, water, fire, and air. And so how do we learn about ourselves? Through understanding the elements. I'm sure we've all had fiery moments in our lives. We've all had deep emotions, which relates to water. And then air, creativity, change, which is a huge aspect of adolescence. And of course, earth being the grounding force that we keep returning to. And so being out in the elements has always been a really beautiful experience for us, as well as just understanding ourselves and others.
Thank you so much. And I feel that we all of us working with the body and with girls have this mandate to keep returning to the earth in our own bodies and learning how to be in ever more right relationship with the natural world and how we use our resources and care for what we do have. And so thank you for seeding that too. So social and environmental calls to action, that's a huge part of what becoming in these times is all about. And I would love to welcome your girls onto the stage and greet them. And Vanessa and Claudine, yep, there you go. Hello, hello. We're so happy to see you. Vanessa and Claudine, please join us with your girls also. And I want to just acknowledge, so good to see you both. I want to acknowledge while we're waiting for Vanessa and Claudine, the miracle of getting internet right now for these folks has really been something. Claudine and Vanessa have spent the last period of time just trying to orchestrate how to have quality enough internet to be able to stream this whole hour and to have their girls safely travel so that they can all be together. And there you are. And it's so good to see you. Oh my goodness. All right. Well, what I would love for Claudine and Vanessa, are you there? Okay. Maybe you could introduce your girls, and then Johanna, you could introduce your girls, and we'll just take a moment and see this next generation of leaders and of humans coming of age. Please.
Hello, we greet you from the Democratic Republic of Congo. Here we have girls from different age groups. We have from 10 to 25, and we are 60, around 60. And we really are so happy to be here and ready to continue doing important all of us together in our country as a whole. Thank you so much. We love you. We love you.
Oh, so beautiful to see you together, and how blessed are you all to have these two mighty leaders. And I know Bertine and Alosha and others are right there with you too. I want to acknowledge that your country has done a better job of protecting your people during COVID, that you can all gather right now and have it be safe. And I just really want to kudos to you and acknowledge that here we still have to be masked at all times. So I just really want to mark that and wish for you all to have continued real health in your homeland. Johanna, do you want to take a moment and introduce your two women that are there with you, young women?
Yes, well, this right here is our dear Sophie Farrell, who will be sharing something with all of you in just a moment. And right here is Chaya, and they've both been a part of Girls Group for many, many years.
Awesome. Well, we brought you all together because something very profound happened in the last year. When I came and interviewed you all, I shared with you in Boulder the first film that Anne-Marie made, and I watched your faces when you saw that film. And I'm not going to say what you said. I'm going to let you say it. And then you had the opportunity to meet Claudine, and it deepened that call to action in you. And we know that the opportunities that you have is very different than the opportunities that girls in so many places around this world have. And I'd love for you all to maybe share something that stirred in your heart and what you were moved to do. And then Claudine, I would love for you to speak just a little bit about how that was received and what you were able to do with it. So take it from here.
Hi, I'm Chaya again. And I'm loving this. I'm so glad to be here. But when you came and when I saw Claudine, I just really recognized the amount of privilege that I have and that every single person I know has. And it really made me want to help, to use what I have to help other people to raise themselves up. And that's just it's what you want to do. If you have so much privilege, you just want to help other people and help. Yeah.
Thank you. That was so clear. Thank you. It's true. And and not everybody has that same stirring in their heart, and you have. And thank you for so bravely calling us all to action and speaking about your own heart. Sophie, do you want to add anything right now?
Yes, actually, we decided as a group that we were going to make Christmas ornaments, actually, and sell them to our community in order to raise money for feminine products in the Congo. And same with Chaya, I just felt like it was just so unfair, the difference between privilege, and it pretty much shocked me. They're so cute. Yeah. And I think that everybody should go out there and try to make a difference in this world, because honestly, we're struggling. And I think that that's just the most important thing, is just helping out everybody, because everybody deserves to have a beautiful place on earth.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And that which is initiating us in our adolescence has something to do with what we are here to do in our lives. So may this just keep working you and growing you. And Claudine, you were able to receive some of those resources, and with so little do so much. Can you speak to what you've been able to do? Because it's really profound. You and Vanessa, but I'm particularly thinking about with the fabrics and what you did with that.
Thank you so much for your wonderful words and for your encouragement. Everyone gets to really feel gratitude. And also sending out for the great and amazing work you are doing to also share the community here. And what we've been able to do together with you here is coming up together in groups and starting out with small businesses to see how these are going to generate more money to sustain ourselves. We also have training where we talk about menstrual health hygiene. And we continue to really learn from each other, because we can't do it one, but we learn from all over the way. I learned from USO and Nigeria program. Thank you so much, and we continue to really look forward to staying with us.
Yeah. Thank you, Claudine. It was a little bit tricky to hear you, and your gratitude is felt very deeply. So thank you. And, you know, this is a beginning, you all. This is a birth time. This is not like, wow, we've got this all figured out. But what I know is we have a mandate to build a bridge, to help create opportunities for more and more young women who want to help build a more just and inclusive and beautiful world where, as Vanessa said so clearly, more people can have food and nourishment and find their ways out of poverty. And with $100, Claudine, you were able to help over 100 girls create their own menstrual health pads and have the ability to take care of their bodies every month in a self-respecting and healthier way. And so a little, you know how to make go a long, long way. And just so much respect. And we look forward to having an ongoing dialogue with all of you, okay? For real. So high five to that. All hands, high five. Yeah, okay. And bless you. We see each other. Thank you. Is there anything else anybody needs to speak in your community there, Claudine? Any of your women, is there anything burning that anybody needs to speak? Let's all just stay with our breath and honor this brave soul stepping forward. Keep Really short. Thank you. Come.
Thank you for this activity. Mama inaonekana kama unapenda sana cheza dada, tunafurahi sana kuona mama, tunafurahi sana na kuona wengine walivyoshinde, tunafurahi sana kuonana. We are really happy to see you, Mama Melissa, and to also see other girls from all over the world. And this really shows the true love that you all share, and it's good to be here. Tunafurahia mama wengine wetu wa kuchunga pia na kuangalia, tunafurahi sana kama kusema msiku. And we are happy to have you and they are making what we are doing. Really thank you for all the support.
Thank you all. Thank you so much, all these noble hearts. And there's a conversation that has just begun. In closing, friends, we have some more, it's hard to believe, more girl magic for you. A bit of wisdom from some of our leaders, Caroline Sell, Carol Bruziella, and Dorcas Odera, from many different places around the world, Southern California, Boulder, and Ghana. And please welcome them. And we'll close just after that with a bunch of beauty from one of our Golden Girls who you've already met, Sophie Farrell. Please, let's listen in.
Thank you, Melissa, and thank you to everyone. Here at the closing of what we have just witnessed, we're going to just offer a few really practical resources that we have used on the edge of our own thresholds in the initiatory process, but also even in this moment, I can feel all the energy. So, you know, the fear, the excitement, the curiosity, these overwhelming feelings that often come when we're on threshold. How do we really come back to ourselves to make sure we are fully integrated as we move forward? So my little piece right now for today is really about letting our senses come and bring our mind and our hearts and our spirit into an embodied place so that we actually can move forward and move through our process. So of course we start with what we can see in our environment, you know, what we can smell, whether it's natural or man-made. What do we taste like? What are the tastes that are available to us? What can we hear? What is going on? Can we even hear our own heartbeat as all of these emotions are coursing through us? And to bring in, you know, touch, just to really allow yourself to literally bring all of who you are into this physical body so that you can bring all that you are through the initiatory process. And the last one, you know, just remembering that this is divine, that there is connection to the spirit, to all that is, you know, behind us and before us. And yeah, and so as we walk through these processes, really take our whole selves with us. And so today, just remember to come back to yourself through your senses. And I will pass it to my sweet colleague, Carol.
Thank you, Caroline. I often get a lot of my resources from others, and that was a great offering that Caroline just shared right now. And something that I do for myself is starting with making contact with myself and just connecting, taking in a nice big breath, and inviting movement to the body has been one of the greatest resources, as well as reflecting on the connections that I have had that has offered these teachings and remind me every day. Thank you. And I'll pass it on to Dorcas.
Thanks so much, Carol. And just like you, I get one of my greatest resources is getting those reflections from my network. And this helps me, it reminds me to know of who I am, and it helps me to see myself more clearly. It reminds me of my superpowers, my talents, and giftings. And then I use that to just bring myself and remind myself who I am. And now that we've shared with you what our resources are, I would like to invite you all to share with us what your resources are through chat, so that we can just, just know what empowers you, like what helps you come back to yourself. And also, let's remember who we are, who we truly are, and in our love, power, and connection. Thank you.
All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Sophie. I would like to share a song. And this song is just to show to all the girls that you all over the world that you are beautiful inside and out. Every day, it's so wonderful, and suddenly, it's hard to breathe. Now and then, I get insecure from all the pain. I'm so ashamed. I am beautiful, no matter what they say. Words can't bring me down. Oh no, I am beautiful in every single way. Yes, words can't bring me down. So don't you bring me down today. Thank you so much.
Whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop. Let's all join Sophie and our incredible community on stage.
Thank you, Sophie, and welcome back, leaders. That was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I love that song. Everybody has their own talents, and I think it takes time to uncover them. I'm 35 and still trying to figure it out. So just taking the next best step, but that was really beautiful, thank you. So I just want to talk for a couple minutes in closing just about what's next. So we have another launch on November 14th, and we will be seeing a film from Brazil, Siento Falta de Vocês Muito, and a film of all the leaders. So a lot of us, we've had introductions for some of the leaders here. I'm seeing some films, but in the third launch, we'll really get to meet all the leaders. And we're gonna be having different girls groups coming up. So please feel free to check out our new website, goldengirlsglobal.org, to get more information. And if you wanna get involved, there's on there you can fill out and tell us about yourself and how you would like to get involved. And we'd love to have your involvement in any which way. And what else? So I know we did a lot of thank yous last time, but I just really want to say thank you to all the leaders and everybody who make this event work. Dan, Maren, Manuela, Sarita, Abigail, everybody, ASL, Spanish and Portuguese interpreters. Thank you very much. And we're hoping to get Chinese for the next launch. And definitely, last but not least, I just want to thank you, Mom, for being who you are. Your support for all of us, the leaders, the girls, and all the people across the globe. What you've done, now I'm crying, what you've done, created, and continue to do on the daily is so beautiful, necessary, inspiring, and not always easy, and often goes unnoticed, but I see you and I love you. And thank you to everybody who's donated to help us get these girls on internet for this event today, and also girls in Brazil are on, because your donations are on this event today, so thank you so much. And thank you everybody who showed up on your Saturday morning or Saturday night to spend this hour with us. It really, really, really means a lot, and all of your kind words and support mean a lot to us. So in closing, just want to send mad love to all the girls out there and all the people who support the girls out there. Thank you.